So there's different types of pumps available, and we're going to show you how to set this pump up today. Really important that before you start, you always wash your hands really well using paper towel to dry your hands. It's really important as well that you wipe down any equipment before you start. So there's detergent wipes available. Just give the pump a really good clean before you start. Wipe down all the surfaces, okay, and make sure that it's really nice and clean. So to set this pump up, you need to first pop this lid here so that you can put the diaphragm in, okay? The diaphragm is what keeps your milk safe. So you need to put it in, and when you put it in, you'll hear it just click into place. You can either pump with just single pump with this pump or with double pump, okay? So we're going to show you how to double pump. Again, just pop that in, push that lid down, okay? To set this pump up, tubing first of all, the tubing's actually the same on either end, okay? So it doesn't matter which end you take, and it just pops in to that end of the diaphragm there. The set comes in bits, and this is the body, and it's probably easiest to take this first of all. This little bit here is the filter, and it's really important that when you are putting the pump together, that little white bit is always on properly, because if you don't have that bit on, you're not going to get the vacuum to work. This filter can really only go in one place, okay? You just pop it in there, and then the bottle just screws in, okay? Breast shield, again, can only go in one place. You just pop that in, make sure it's in firmly, and then your tubing just pops in there to that little hole. Okay, and that's you ready to go. So I've got this one already set up. We'll just pop that one in. There we go. With this pump, some of the pumps come with an extra setting, which is called a premature setting or a stimulation setting, and that's really good to use in the very early days when you're just starting to express. So when you switch this pump on using this button here, it'll give you the opportunity to select the preemie setting. If you want to use the preemie setting, it says for preemie, and you just press that away and it'll go straight into that setting. And this is a setting which is a 15-minute program which stimulates your breast milk supply. So you just sit there for your 15 minutes with your double pumping on, and once the program's finished, that's you. It's really good if you can use this pump in that setting in the first few days. 8 to 10 times a day is really good. Doesn't have to be regularly, just fit it in around what's happening. So if you're going to visit your baby, then sitting by your baby's bedside pumping is really good. If you can get the baby out for some kangaroo care and then do some pumping after that, that's really good for your milk supply. So use the preemie setting for the first few days until you're getting about 20 mils of milk 3 times in a row, and then once you're starting to get that, you can go on to the standard setting. If you want to use the standard setting, when that pump goes on, you just wait and it will change from preemie to standard setting. Some women find it helpful to keep a record of when they're expressing, particularly in the early days. You can use a diary, or some areas have an expressing log, and it can be helpful just to log when you're expressing and how much you're getting. It also means that you can show it to staff, and if you're having some issues, they might be able to identify and give you some advice around your pumping. So these bottles fit onto the set in exactly the same way as the bottles that come with it. For bigger healthy term babies, these bottles are okay. If you're expressing at home, they're absolutely fine. But these bottles are a little bit smaller, and we give you them and they're pre-sterilised. So we're going to talk now about how to clean your equipment. It's really important that you keep your diaphragm and your tubing together. They're yours and for your single use alone. So when you take these out, always give them a little wipe down with a detergent wipe. These don't need washed, and actually it's important they're not washed, because you'll get water caught in the tubing. Okay, so just wipe these down with a detergent wipe. Take your bottle off carefully, want to look after your milk. You take the filter off, and it's really important that you take this bit apart to clean it. Okay, take the shield out, and that goes into your box. You can wash all of your equipment in your box with hot soapy water, including the box as well. Rinse it off with cool water, lay it on paper towel, and then dry it really well. Okay, it's really important that your equipment's very well dried, because the thing that bugs like is moisture. So dry your equipment really well, dry your box off really well, paper towel inside your box, and then store your equipment dry with the lid on for the next use. So if your baby is in a neonatal unit, there might be times when you have to sterilise your equipment, but the staff in the unit will be able to talk to you about that and explain the process.